He anchors the No Spin News Show with his co-author, Confronting Evil, Assessing the Worst of the Worst, Bill O'Reilly. And he's a Democratic congressman representing Florida's 23rd, Jared Moskowitz. Okay, gentlemen. Here are the questions from the actual humans. All right. Trump wants to build a new missile defense system called the Golden Dome. Ah, yes, I read about this. That could cost hundreds of billions of dollars. Is that a good use of money?
Well, I mean, look, he's building, he wants to build an arch on the mall. You know, he's building a place he can dance at the White House and do the YMCA. He's going to do that there. And he wants to build a dome. I mean...
you got to protect the dance hall.
True. By the way, I'm very excited. I'm very excited with, you know, when the Democrats take the White House in 28, when we have the ballroom, you know, the Pride Month in February is going to be great in that ballroom. But yeah, if we can have a missile...
I don't know how serious you are, because...
He's not being serious.
Well, that I wasn't being serious.
Okay.
But look, the missile defense system, that we have a lot of technology in space that, you know, that are these advanced technology programs, some of which we don't know how we fund because they're not funded by Congress. We move money around in the Pentagon. But I don't have a problem with that. I think that's totally fine. I mean, China's military capability is absolutely increasing, and I don't have a problem if we do a missile defense program. China is, you know, their technology, they're putting it in space. And so for us doing the same thing...
I have a problem if we don't.
Yeah.
Like, just because Trump thought of it, I'm not against it. Something that would stop the increasing number of rogue missiles that are in this world from maybe coming over here and incinerating me. Yeah, mark me down as a pro for that. I'm pro having... Now, can we do it? I don't know. You know, I read, you know, he says it'll take 3 years and 180 billion, and they say, well, that's bullshit, it's going to take 10. Whatever it is. Of course, everything is over-scheduled and never comes in on time or on budget. But that's, to me, a worthy thing. And the ballroom, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. I was reading, it shows you like how the media is. Everything is always on one side or the other. When he first mentioned it, it was like all about, oh my God, he's desecrating the White House. Then I finally read, oh, well, you know, they've done shit to the White House before. It's just a building, I think. Also, like, I realized after reading other people, we don't have a place when they have state dinners. They're doing it in a tent. This is America. So do I give a shit that he's doing this to the White House? I really don't.
Well, look, he raised the money privately.
Yeah, and it's private money.
You know, and if Newsom wants to knock it down when he's president, then he can knock it down, right?
Save your ire for the things that matter.
That's right.
You
but
know,
they don't know what matters.
Well,
you know as well as I do.
I don't give a shit.
That the media is not in the business any longer of reporting what matters. It's not. They make their money either hating or loving Donald Trump. Yeah. That's where the cash register is. What matters doesn't matter to them. Okay. You know that.
Do you think that Mamdani's election will lead more financial organizations to leave New York City for Wall Street South in Florida? Tell me, I've read that term just recently, Wall Street South, Florida. This is your state. What is that?
A lot of Wall Street guys have moved to Palm Beach. It's been happening really since COVID. It's accelerated with, you know, increases in taxes. It's not just out of New York. It's New Jersey, Connecticut, it's Chicago, it's California.
So they're fleeing high tax blue states for Florida.
And this is the luckiest guy in the world that Mamdani got elected, because his district is going to explode. My house, I live 8 miles outside of Queens, has gone up 20% in value since Mamdani announced. Okay? Because people aren't going to pay the punishing taxes. New York is the highest tax state in the union.
But you said your house value's gone up.
Yeah, because they're moving to Nassau County.
Oh, they're moving out of the city.
Out of the city, and they can still take the train back in the city and not pay the millionaire's tax or whatever crazy thing this guy wants. But what people don't understand is he can't raise the taxes unless the state okays it, and the state is not going to okay it. So this is just smoke and mirrors. and the younger people who voted for him, they don't understand that. They don't know what seizing the means of production is, but Ken Griffin does. He's the big Wall Street titan. He knows what it is, and that's why he's down in Palm Beach.
We'll see if they move. I mean, you saw Bill.
They're going to move.
Well, look,
they're already moving.
Hold on, Bill Ackman
No,
threatened.
they're not.
Hold on.
People say they're going to move all the time after
listen.
elections. They don't do it.
Bill Ackman said he was going to move.
You know how many people moved out of New York City in the last 3 years? 600,000. They're moving.
Yeah, they're moving. They've been moving from COVID.
You know how many people moved out of your state, California?
Oh, I know. No,
Under Newsom?
Yeah, no. People do move.
A
No
million.
doubt about that. People move in America, and you're right.
No, but they're not moving because they want a better view. They like to keep more of their money
yes,
that
that's
they
true.
earn.
Yeah, that's true.
Florida is a really good case study. So when DeSantis became governor, there were 250,000 more registered Democrats in Florida when he became governor 8 years ago. Now there's 1.4 million more registered Republicans in Florida. That's all migration from COVID and re-registration from COVID, 100%.
Right.
So it absolutely is happening. Whether they will abandon New York in droves, I mean, Bill Ackman's a really good example. He said he was going to leave, right? He's been going after Mamdani. He spent a lot of money on him. And then the day Mamdani won, he said, I'm willing to talk and sit down and work with you. That doesn't sound like he's packing his
It's not
bags.
everybody, but look, if you're a person in New York City earning $150,000, okay, that's a lot of money for most people in the United States. That's nothing in New York City. 150K doesn't get you very much.
Right.
It gets you In-N-Out burgers, okay? It doesn't get you
Which we don't
more
have in
than
New York
that.
City, but
Which,
it
yeah,
would
we
get
don't
it.
even have those, and I wish we did. So that the working people at a certain level are going to say, I'm going to the congressman's state because there's no state tax there. There's no local tax there. I get to keep more of my money. This isn't complicated.
Well, I I've looked at moving because I'd like to keep more of my money too, and
Where should Maher move
I'm
to?
not moving anywhere. I'm not moving anywhere.
No?
No.
Not going to stay?
And the taxes here are ridiculous, but it's still Southern California.
Right.
Okay. So, please. And wherever you move in this world, as soon as you live there for a week, you'll be like, oh shit, I didn't know they had mosquitoes this big here, or whatever it is. And you're going to be unhappy there too.
And I miss the fires and the earthquakes.
No, I don't miss
them.
that. Okay.
We have hurricanes. Yeah.
All right. Do you think Vance or Rubio has a better chance at winning in 2028? Well, they got to wrestle the nomination away from Trump, which is probably not going to happen. Well, I mean, who knows?
You know, it's a totally different country
What?
in 2028 than it is now. Totally different country next year. These nitwits on television go, oh, this is a harbinger of the midterms. You know how many things are going to change in the next 12 months?
Democrats are going to kill in the midterms for the
Is
same
what?
reason they killed this week. Democrats are going to wipe.
Depends. It
no,
depends.
no,
It
no.
depends if the prices come down.
Well, it's not just the prices.
Oh,
it's just,
that's the big
no,
one.
it's the perception that the people who get into power are always drunk with power. This administration's I'm also just drunk. And they don't like it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, somebody who promises I'll get back to normal, they want that person to do that.
Yeah.
And that's not happening, and I don't see Trump going back. He only knows one direction, and so I think people are going to be unhappy in a year just like that, probably unhappier.
If the economy gets better, the fringe of the Democratic Party, which isn't going to change. These are the people who hate Israel. These are the people who are woke. These are the people ramming stuff down your throat. They're going to sabotage the mainstream Democratic Party.
Well, that may be Bill and other Republicans' hope. It's going to be about the economy. It's not going to be about the stock market. We live in like 5 different Americas now.
Right.
You know, John Edwards used to say there's 2 Americas. There's like 5. Okay, there's many different economies going on, and the people are absolutely suffering. I mean, they are. And it hasn't changed in the year that Trump said he was going to change it. And the more he, has women dancing in martini glasses while saying you're not getting your SNAP benefits.
Right. Yeah.
I missed that. Where was
It's just
that?
not a good
Oh,
look.
you weren't invited?
I wasn't. Women in martini glasses?
Well, he had a. I didn't hear about that one, but he had a Gatsby-themed
Gatsby
Halloween party, which again I don't give a shit for real about this. This doesn't affect anything, but it is such a bad look. It is just such a bad look.
I agree.
And he doesn't care. And again, this is going to affect.
He's going to care now. He's going to care now.
I'll show you the pictures later.
Of the martini?
Oh yeah, no, listen.
You were there?
No, I have the internet. I will say.
You know the internet, Bill, that thing where you get so many viewers?
Listen, if you were planning a really nice bar mitzvah, okay, these were.
And I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, these were life-size martini glasses with women dressed.
Let me make one more point because.
Okay.
I'll bring, next time I talk to the president, I'll figure that out. But the most important thing to Donald Trump, and you need to understand this, is his legacy. And he loses his House or the Senate this time next year, his legacy's shot. That's why I'm saying it's going to be a lot of change and a lot of change fast in the next 12 months.
Okay, well, there's a prediction. We'll see how it goes. Let me ask a follow-up to the Vance Rubio question. What about Gavin Newsom? Now, I mentioned in the monologue.
He has hair like you. You guys have the same hair.
I wish.
It's a slick back thing.
I mean, you both do have great hair. You do.
I wish someone would come up to me and say, Gavin?
No, you don't, Maher.
I do.
You want to be Gavin Newsom?
I want to look like him.
You really? You want to look like him?
Oh, he
Look, you're in decent shape for an 83-year-old man.
Doesn't matter. He's older than me, so
I know,
it doesn't.
And smarter.
It's really pointless.
But I think Gavin is having a moment.
Well, he's having a moment. That's my question. Is like he bet big on this Prop 50. It was a risk. He has been a risk taker from the beginning. That's why I always like this guy. He is too far left for me. I tell him it in person. I tell him on the air. He has got to move to the center. He has made some moves to the center.
He's wrecked the state.
Not enough. Well, okay.
I know that it doesn't matter.
He didn't wreck it, but yes, I agree. He's too far left for my taste, and he's not going to be president unless he moves to the center. But he's a politician, and I think he has that ability to. And now he looks like he is the front runner. Is he not the front runner for the Democratic nomination as of now?
No.
Wes Moore.
Wes Moore, isn't he?
Governor of Maryland.
Oh.
So Wes
I know who he is.
Yeah, Wes Moore is tremendously impressive. I just think right now
he'll wipe the floor with.
And that may be the future. I mean, if you know Wes and you've seen Wes, he's amazing. But I think Gavin's having a moment between not just Prop 50, but Gavin is the one who decided he's going to try to do Trump's thing online, okay, with the press and the tweets and all of that. And what he's done with that is not he's trying to out-Trump Trump, because that's not possible. But what he has done is he's shown how ridiculous it all is when it's done by somebody else. Okay?
No shot.
And so, look.
No shot.
I think Bill has a point that the other 49 states don't want to be California, but I would say Gavin right now is tapping into the Democratic anger at what's going on.
The fringe.
Okay. No, that's not the fringe.
That's
all
not the
Democrats are angry.
Look,
okay.
Yeah.
It's not just the fringe.
And by the way, a lot of Republicans are angry too.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of people.
Oh, you bet they're angry. There's no ideology in the grocery store.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
Everybody's teed off.
Look at that. You said a good thing.
It only took an hour. It only took an hour.
It only took an hour and 10 minutes.
You're just brooding over there.
I'm not brooding about anything.
Most of your guests shrink.
All right.
Come on, you know the game.
Okay.
Is that a short joke because they have me in a booster
I'm
chair
83.
here?
I ought to know the game. So it was in the news today that Elon Musk is going to sign his deal to get $1 trillion if he hits.
He deserves it.
He deserves it.
What? Why not 2? Why not 2 trillion?
I mean,
Oh.
no, he has to hit.
Why not 2
He
trillion?
has to do things like create 1 million robots, lifelike, humanoid robots. I don't want any of those in the world, by the way. They are going to take over and kill us all, but okay.
They already run CNN.
Okay, but look, I am a capitalist. I am not a socialist, certainly not a communist. But $1 trillion for one person, the question is, should there be an upper level? I don't know what it would be, probably pegged to the gross national product, because that's kind of what we did when John D. Rockefeller approached 2% of the gross national product. They did change that law.
And he's in Confronting Evil, my book, Rockefeller. He's in there.
John D. Rockefeller?
Yeah, as one of the heinous evil people.
Oh.
But here's the anecdote to Musk making $1 trillion. Don't buy a car. If that offends you, don't buy his car. That's capitalism. You don't have to buy anything.
Listen, here's what I would say about that, okay? If you talk about, it's about the economy, the last election, you look at what's going on, we're in these wild swing moments. We have vaccine mandates. The response to that is, we'll get rid of vaccines, right? Trump's doing authoritarian stuff. The response to that is people are going to push socialism. If you think socialism is not going to increase in this country while we're giving out $1 trillion pay packages, then you're just wrong.
Right.
People are going to rise up, and they're going to turn to spreading wealth around when a guy's making $1 trillion.
Depends what state you're in.
Sure, if you're in Mississippi, it might be
If you're in
different.
Florida,
Okay.
your state is not going to go socialist.
I'm not saying it's going to go socialist, but I'm telling you, it's going to change how people look at things when a
Yes.
guy gets $1 trillion
Yes.
pay package.
Nobody likes that. I don't think anybody but Elon likes that.
Well, you just
So
said you were
it's-
okay with it.
No, I didn't. I
okay,
said,
okay.
don't buy his car. That's not being okay with it. I wouldn't buy his car.
But other people will buy the car or whatever
But
it is.
that's
And
their
again,
right.
it's not. It's
I
not
mean,
the
by the
car.
way, they could have given him $500 billion, which would have gotten him to $1 trillion. He's already worth $500 billion.
It's pegged not to cars. It's pegged to robots. Robots. AI is already. I mean, talking about the
it's
economy.
big.
I mean, there's been 1.1 million layoffs so far now this year, attributed mostly.
You know what the
to-
worst part is? You and I are going to be replaced by these robots.
Oh, not me.
No?
They can replace you. They can't replace me.
Well, then they lose 23 million viewers.
Yeah, no.
Math.
Did you ever see Invasion of Body Snatchers? I know for a fact there's a pod with Maher right in there.
No, AI can't be funny.
No, it can't.
That's it. They can't. They can.
Congress may have a better approval rating if we were replaced by robots.
Final question. November has become what they call No Nut November.
No what?
No nut. You never heard of this?
I'm totally out of it.
Okay. It's this movement in the last few years where men pledge not to masturbate or have an orgasm for the month of November. You don't know about this?
I don't know, but it's too late, I guess. It's too late.
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right.